In Genesis, God gives mankind all plants that bear seed anywhere on earth, and every tree bearing fruit which yields seeds. Many of the great religions have a sacrament, a substance which represents the essence of what for them is the representation of God. In the Christian Church, part of the sacrament offered is the bread and wine in the reenactment of the Last Supper at every Holy Communion. The Jewish faith also uses wine as a sacrament in their rituals. The Native American Church has official government sanction to use peyote in its ceremonies. There are many religions which use cannabis. It is used by Sufis, Hindus, and by members of the Coptic Church of Ethiopia, as well as by Rastafarians and many African groups. In all these cases, the sacraments are used in moderation and treated with the utmost respect, usually used in ritual conditions in which the ritual itself creates a change in consciousness as much as the effect of the sacrament itself. The Universal Church of the Holy and Sacred Herb does not have any dogma. It does not tell its members what to think or believe. Rather, the Church encourages debate between members and groups as to what God means to them. There may be Christian members, Muslim members, Buddhist members and Jewish members. It is a personal revelation. A common view among church members is that God exists wherever life exists, and that within all people and all creatures their aliveness is a manifestation of their own God nature. So if Jesus was a manifestation of God on earth, this was achieved through his being a perfect manifestation of his own God nature. Just as Rama and Krishna are regarded as perfect divine incarnations by the Hindus, the Buddhists regard Buddha as the perfect manifestation of the Buddha nature. The Universal Church of the Holy and Sacred Herb is also concerned with the exploration of consciousness, and it seeks to defend the rights of those who believe that experiences they have had using cannabis have been of genuinely spiritual nature and have aided their spiritual development. Altered states of consciousness can be the pathway to understanding the mind through exploring different levels of consciousness, and it can happen that the mental process itself can become conscious. Under the influence of cannabis, it is possible to watch thoughts flowing past. To have experienced this state is nothing to be ashamed of, and the Church claims government has no right to persecute people who wish to take this path to self-discovery. The Universal Church of the Holy and Sacred Herb is a non-denominational church comprising many religious beliefs and customs. We recognise God's gift, the holy and sacred herb cannabis, and we acknowledge the glory of God's creation on earth. We celebrate the spiritual, mental and physical benefits inherent in our consumption of the cannabis plant and its natural products. We advocate that the general use of cannabis will be of great benefit to many individuals and to society as a whole, spiritually and physically. We abhor the adulteration of pure cannabis with other substances and recognise this as a direct result of the profit motivation created by the evil, tyrannical and entirely unnecessary prohibition of cannabis. We demand the right to cultivate and purchase pure cannabis and cannabis products for personal or collective usage. We demand our human rights to preach, worship and practice our religious rites and rituals, and maintain our beliefs without pressure from law or elsewhere, as granted in Articles 1, 2 and 18 of the 1948 United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We recognise the prohibition of cannabis to be a crime against justice and humanity.
In Close Up tonight, another operation for the boxer from Suffolk who was stabbed in the leg And more on the stolen bus crash in Essex.
But first, in Norfolk, there were extraordinary scenes at Norwich Cathedral today as a demonstration in favour of legalising cannabis was held and then promptly broken up by police. 4 people were taken away after being arrested on suspicion of possessing the drug.
The protesters had gathered in the cathedral cloisters. They wanted to speak to the Bishop of Norwich or another priest at the cathedral on the issue of legalising cannabis. They lit a pipe, or chillum, which contained lavender and other herbs. But it's cannabis which members of the group say they smoke as part of prayer.
Frees my mind, eases me, relaxes me, enables me to think. I'm a Christian, and spiritually it helps me. And my spirituality is my faith. So, basically, how can anybody deny that to me? Deny my happiness?
The self-styled Church of the Holy and Sacred Herb has around 15 members in the Norwich area. It wants the Church of England General Synod to discuss the legalisation of cannabis next month.
I'm going to take you over there just to search you. Yeah. Right.
The sit-in was broken up when police moved in and carried out a number of searches.
There is a very proper and good debate about the legalisation of cannabis going on in the press and among people in general. We hope that the Church can take part in that in the normal way. There are plenty of existing channels for doing that. I think it needs rational discussion rather than an emotional event to handle it.
4 arrests were made on suspicion of the possession of controlled drugs. The cathedral authorities stressed that they cannot condone the breaking of the drugs laws, even if it is for so-called religious reasons. Despite the arrests, the protesters say they'll continue to press for a meeting with the bishop. Ian Balmer, Look East, Norwich Cathedral.
We demand our rights and the rights of our children to health and happiness, freedom of lifestyle, freedom of choice, freedom of thought and religion, freedom to change religion, faith or belief, to manifest that religion or belief, lifestyle and faith in worship, teaching, practice, ritual, rites and observance, alone or in the assembly with others. We demand our rights to believe in God as a father, mother, creator and destroyer, as sustainer and provider, physical, psychological and spiritually, in peace with our fellow human beings. We demand our rights to possess seeds from all plants, which shall include cannabis, hemp, sativa, indica and ruderalis. We demand our right to plant and produce, to grow, nurture, cultivate and enjoy the harvest of our labours, to share, to give the fruits to others, having no arbitrary amount to have in possession at any time, anywhere, in any place. We demand these rights, citing Article 9 of the European Convention on Human Rights, Article 18 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, proclaims at the United Nations General Assembly on December 10, 1948, and the Declaration of the Rights of the Child, UN Assembly Resolution 1386-X1V, November 20, 1959. We demand that all those responsible for the prohibition of cannabis be brought to trial to answer charges of crimes against humanity, crimes against peace, tyranny and evil doing, especially illegal conduct by a public official, malfeasance,